Hello YouTube, Luigi here. You're looking at a really nice knife, the Buck Vantage Select. I'm going to hold it up for you. Start with the outside. These are FRN handles. They have a slight texture to them, not much, not really grippy if you're just rubbing your finger across it, but holistically, the ergonomics of the entire shape of the scale are great in terms of purchase. This isn't going to fly out of your hand. It's got a super deep Conceal pocket clip that is eminently reversible. You take these two screws out, flip it around, you can put it on the other side. So it's tip up, right or left only. It cannot be tipped down. That'll make most people happy. Most people happy. Let's talk about the deployment. It has this teeny weeny little flipper. You know, if you're just trying to flip it with the flipper, you're not going to get very far. A little bit of wrist action and it comes open just fine. Just fine. So you have to remember that about this knife. You know, a little bit of wrist and she's there. The oval Spidey hole works just fine too. I have no problems with that. I can do it in one continuous smooth operation. Some of these holes, or thumb studs even, you have to, halfway through the move, you have to reposition your thumb. This one works really well. You can kind of see the striations on the grind. And I trimmed a candle with this, so it might still have some wax on it. And the flat part of the blade has a polish on it. Okay? It's a nice drop point. Or would some call this a clip? You know? Okay. We're going to put it down here on my handy dandy measuring tool. And you can see we have a 3 1/4 inch blade. And boy, a 4 1/2 inch handle. It's a decent sized knife, feels great in the hand, fills the hand even though it's not a really thick knife. Maybe it's the question of the width of it as opposed to the thickness, but it fills my hand well. You know, that's really important to me. Something to notice. It has sort of a, see this swell here? It serves as a thumb ramp when you're holding it, but it's totally within the handle. It's not a raised thumb ramp on the blade, on the spine. And there's no jimping here. Okay? No jimping, not a lot of texture on the scale, and yet the overall ergonomics are such where that you feel you have a really, really good grip. There's no skeletonizing in the stainless steel liners. And there's no lanyard hole. That's okay by me. Excuse me, please. This cold weather here is aggravating my asthma. There's no lanyard hole, which doesn't bother me because I'm the guy who doesn't understand lanyards. Now, I've looked at other reviews. I always do. I want to see what other people are saying. And Cutlery Lover probably had one of the most extensive reviews of this. This is really interesting because I always thought the Spyderco Tenacious was like an iconic, widely held, very popular folding knife, you know, for the money. And yet he says he would take this over the Tenacious any day. And this is also interesting. He says both this knife and the Tenacious are probably the most widely reviewed knives on all of YouTube. So that's about all I got to say. It's a great knife. It's a good beater knife. It feels heavy. We're looking at 3.7 ounces here. And, you know, I like a heavy knife. I like to feel the heft of a knife. I'm not into these featherweight knives. The lockup, we can look at that. You know, my camera seems to be slow in refocusing. The lockup is, you know, it's not super early. The lock bar appears to be totally on the tang. maybe 50% engagement at the outer edge there. The centering is not perfect, but it's not bad. It's not rubbing anywhere. It's not rubbing anywhere, and that's something I've just come to accept on the inexpensive high value knives, is that the centering is just it's like the last thing they look at. You're paying for a one-off custom, in the several $100 or $1,000 range. Boy, that thing better well be centered, but it just doesn't seem to be there. And the one country lover, cutlery lover, reviewed, mine is better centered than his. So apparently this issue is widespread in this design. I like it. Feels good. I'd say you're on the heavy-duty beater side here. This is a rugged knife. I think it's going to serve you well if you're looking for a utility EDC that feels good in the hand, and it's got a lot of blade to it. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. God bless you. I love you all. Thanks for watching. Bye.